Welcome to Quit to Win, the show where we explore the moments people had to let go of destructive pattern, limiting identity, and the internal battles to rebuild their life with purpose and clarity. Today's guest is Richard Wilmore, an award-winning talk show host, podcast producer, and founder of Make Your Day Richer LLC. Since 2011, Richard has hosted and produced thousands of episodes, building his entire career on a single mission, inspired by the Rosie O'Donnell shows, creating space where people feel like the best version of themselves. But Richard's turning points came when he realized the very job built around making others feel better were quietly damaging his own head. Richard, it's a pleasure and honor having
Thanks
you
for
on the
being
show.
here. Thanks for
Thank you,
having
sir.
me.
Yeah. So Richard, you built your career on Rosie energy, on beat, judgment-free, authentic, kind. Did it look like behind the scene when keeping that energy up started costing you something? Right?
I had a job that my entire job was to make people create and be artistic and express themselves, and sort of a distraction from what they were actually going through in real life. We worked with long-term hospital stay adult patients and healthcare staff, very stressful times, the worst times in people's lives. And my job was to make them feel like maybe it wasn't awful. And I started feeling awful, and I wasn't practicing what I was preaching, is really what it went down to. And it was literally making me sick. And that's what happened is I got sick and ended up in the hospital.
Yeah. That's really a whole lot. So you said your job was to make people feel better, and it was running your head. What did that contraction feel like day to day? Smiling, being up guest, privately struggling.
It wasn't a talk show that I was doing or a podcast. It was a different job that I had. It wasn't in that world. It felt like every day, like I felt like two different people. And it became where I wasn't having fun in my job and I wasn't having fun in real life.
Yeah.
And I would spend time outside of work complaining about work. And not sleeping, and it just like became this whole mess that I was like, this is not why I got into this work.
Yeah.
And I really had to evaluate, like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, amazing. A whole lot to really get to unpack here. So what was the actual moment? Not the realization and insights, but the specific day or conversation where you knew something had to change.
It had been really years in the making that built up. And it actually, my breaking point, I guess, it was time for my annual review. And no one wanted to give it to me. And, with annual reviews maybe comes a raise, a promotion, even just a guidance of where you want to go in the next year of your job. And I wasn't getting that. And there was a lot of pushback and I wasn't really getting answers. And then the answer was, well, we want to make sure that it's done correctly because this is the first one we've done. So we want to make sure that we're doing it correctly. And so months went by, and then I finally got it. And it was not a review at all. What they had done is just sent out a survey to all of the people I had worked with, who then wrote the good things about me and the bad things about me. And they copied and pasted it into a document and sent it to me. And that was it. And I was like, all right, this is, I know where I know that, like, where I stand here in this organization. And I had no backup plan. I mean, it was a nonprofit. I wasn't making that much money. I had no savings account. I had nothing. But I knew that for my own mental health and physical health that I had to go.
Yeah.
I wasn't serving them any more than they were serving me. Like at that point, I wasn't helping them either.
Yeah. That was really a whole lot, having to have this kind of feedback and sitting with it and seeing the realization and having to pivot out. So you have spent over a decade learning the inside ears of what make a guest land. The learning to read others people's energy so closely make it harder or easier to notice when yours was running out.
Yes. I think my rule for when I'm doing a podcast, when I'm hosting a podcast is, because people ask me all the time, like when they're starting podcasts, how do you know like what a season is? Is a season a calendar year? Is it so many episodes? And for myself, unless you're under a contract for a sponsor or something, like I do it until it's too much work. Like it feels like work and not play anymore. Or it feels like I don't care who the next guest is. Like when you've had enough. And then I say, okay, that's the end of the season. And because that usually takes about a year before I get like, okay, too much. And then a month, 2 months later, I get the itch again of I miss doing it. And so that's when I start up the next season. But it definitely has made me more cognizant of where my brain is and where my head is at in a situation, and learning through lots of therapy and life coaches and business coaches to check that faster and to not let that slide. That was so important to me to learn that once you realize it, like you have to then make a decision.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. So you founded the Make Your Day Richer to help others experts get ahead, seen, and remember. How much of that particular mission is shaped by wanting to give people a higher path to visibility than the one you want?
I think I work a lot with independent artists, creatives, nonprofits, people who put their blood, sweat, tears, life savings into a project and then have nowhere to talk about it. And it feels like you are just screaming at the wall in your room by yourself, and you've worked so hard and you're so proud of what you've done, and it feels like no one cares. And so my whole identity has been making sure that people feel and have a place to go and say, look what I've done, and to be proud of themselves and to brag about themselves and to show the world that what they do is important.
Yeah, amazing. And thank you for creating such kind of space that make it easier for people to just ease out those frustrations. And amazing. So you have mentioned painting now, just pushing shiny paints around the canvas as something that pulled you away from screen. When did that become necessary rather than just a hobby?
It was working in the arts and health organization. I never really considered myself an artist. I kind of still don't. I tell people a lot of my art gets hung on the walls of a garbage can because I make it and I throw it away. But art is so much more than being hung in a gallery or having 1 million, copies of an album sold. It really is about the process of letting your emotions go, of really bearing your soul when you're making art, and that's what it's about. It's not about whether or not people think it's good.
It's not about people think it's good. It's about just bearing your soul and doing what is needed. Amazing. Also, for creator who look successful and energetic on camera but are burnout behind it, what do you wish someone had told you earlier about the gap between the personal and the person?
That it's okay to take a break, that it's okay to walk away, that it's okay to even say, this isn't the right path for me. I thought in the job that I left that was hurting me, I thought that was going to be the job I would have for the rest of my life. Like my dad got sick when I was in 2nd grade. I was 8 years old. And I remember thinking, one day I'm going to be famous and I'm going to start a cancer charity and I'm going to help people the way that we've been helped. And I was able to do that through this arts and health organization. And I thought, this is a full circle moment. Like, this is what I'm doing with the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And then the reality set in that nonprofits are really hard to work for, to run. There's a lot of ego in nonprofit work. There's a lot of toxicity, and it just wasn't my dream of what I thought it would be. And that was really hard. I struggled with that for a long time because I thought, how do I make this work? Like, this is what I'm supposed to do with the rest of my life. But it turned out I wasn't. And so when I realized, like, maybe this path or in this version of what I want to do with my life isn't right here, I can pivot, I can adjust and still do what I think I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, amazing. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to take a break. And that's really amazing. And I think this is really lovely, especially being a creative sometimes, as much as it gets exciting, can be so exhausting, and having to know that taking a break just to have fresh ideas and just think about different things. It's really key towards sustainability of that particular energy. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, think about the music that you listen to. Like, an artist isn't releasing an album every month.
Yeah.
They release an album, maybe and then they don't release anything for 2 or 3 years. They have to go live life. They have to have experiences. They have to be inspired. And then all of a sudden, amazing artwork comes back out.
Yeah, so true. Amazing. And also, you talk about people wanting to feel like the best version of themselves. How do you define, how has your definition of that changed since you started taking your own hits? Seriously.
What to me it was like how well am I sleeping at night?
Mhm.
When I quit that job without any backup plan whatsoever, that day that I resigned, I had never slept better in my entire
Mm.
life. Like the pressure was there was a different kind of pressure now of, okay, well, what do I do to survive? But leaving that behind, I sleep so much better. And I still struggle every day. I'm constantly networking. I'm constantly looking for, jobs to make money and other podcast. Like I'm still out there. It's not like I'm at home relaxing and have a wonderful life, but it's a different kind. And I get to work for myself, and it's has made such a difference in my overall health. It's been amazing.
Yeah, amazing. So for a host, creator, or anyone whose job is to take care of others' experience, what is the first sign that their own well-being is quietly being sacrificed?
For me, it was I didn't care about the people I was supposed to be serving anymore.
Oh,
Whether that were patients, whether that were guests on my show, I was too tired to
yeah,
want to do it anymore. And I've been lucky enough that in those positions, it's taken me a long time. It wasn't like I woke up one day and was like, I don't want to go to work anymore, and so I quit.
yeah,
But there was depression. Like there were all of these signs that were like, you are not in a good space and you have to figure out how to fix that.
yeah. You're not in a good space and you have to figure it out. Yes, this is really amazing. Having to see that as a trigger to show that instead of taking care of them, it's already burning you out. This is one that's more of the sign. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. So live production now means things go wrong on camera. What is the playbook for handling an unexpected moment? And has your approach to handling your own internal glitch changed in a similar way?
I mean, when you're live streaming or doing anything in public that can't be edited, anything can
Yeah,
go wrong. And you have to really be okay with looking a little foolish,
yeah,
is what I have found. Like, there's no way around it. I've done live interviews where my camera goes out in the middle of
yeah,
it and the poor guest is sitting there and we're live
yeah,
streaming. I can't cut that out, or a dog walks in mid interview.
yeah,
It's just what happens. And if you're not okay with that, like, then one, you should just be recording things and then putting them out there. Don't maybe do stuff live. But it's having some humor for yourself and being able to make fun of yourself and a little that improvising skill, because you don't know what's going to happen and anything can happen.
yeah. Having some humor for yourself and learning some improvising technique that you could actually more like put into place when those unexpected moments definitely show,
Yeah.
because it's real, definitely. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I would have shows where the guest wouldn't, it was a live show and a guest wouldn't show up. And so, like, what do you do? What do you do? It's like, the show isn't about me. Yeah. And that happened way more than it didn't. So I started recording interviews as sort of backup. So if a guest didn't show up, at least I had something that I could roll into that live show just to save myself a little, like a little bit of a net, a safety net.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. So if you could go back to the version of you hosting talk show from bedroom in Wisconsin, what would you tell him about practicing himself, protecting himself, not just the audience?
That I think I would be shocked as a 10-year-old playing talk show host in my bedroom. I mean, I'm literally in a bedroom now at 41. So not much has changed, but I think part of me never believed, as much as I wanted to do it, that I would be able here 30 years later still doing what I love. Not many people get to say that after that much time. And I have been so lucky to be a guest on shows like this, to host them, to help produce them, like to be immersed in this world for as long as I have. I don't think I really believed that I'd be able to do it.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Also, lastly, you have built a career on making others feel like their best self and learn the hard way that you can't keep giving them that way if you are running empty. What do you want our every creator listening who is quietly burning out behind the bright or personal to know about what it actually takes to protect themselves while still showing others?
I think it's also showing up for yourself in those moments as well, and figuring out, why am I doing this? Am I doing it for them? Am I doing it for myself? Am I doing it, like, what is really behind why you do
To what
you do? Yeah. And if because I have moments all the time when technology happens and I'm frustrated because I lost a file or a camera goes out, and I'm like, why am I doing, like, why is this so hard? Like, and I'm crying in my office and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, can't I just get a regular person job? And the first thing I do is I drop everything and I grab my dog and I go for a walk in nature and I listen to the birds, and I live near a pond that has fountains, and so I listen to the water, and I feel like in those moments all the reasons why and the answers come to me. So stop what you're doing, go do some sort of other artwork, you know, like if you're a writer, go listen to music or go paint or do something else to kind of get your mind off of it and maybe meditate. You know, there's so many ways to recenter yourself and really get answers that you're looking for.
Yeah, this is really amazing and a whole lot of insight to get a pick from it when you get stuck. Yeah, just go all out and try out other different things that doesn't demand much from you, that doesn't confine you to a particular space compared to that particular. And I think I'll be doing this. It doesn't even appear to me that was a strategy until I just had you make reference to it being that usually once I just get tired of podcasting and I'm like, it will be as though almost listening to the guest again and interviewing questions is more a heavy load. I just choose to go out most time, go paint, just walk around, feed my eyes, and it has really been helpful. And just hearing you make reference to it about that. So that was a therapy for me and I didn't know.
Yeah. It's so important because it can be so consuming.
Yeah.
And then you have nothing. And we're all, you know, driven by money, of course, you know, like we all need it. But at the same time, if that's the only thing that's driving you and you're not able to see anything other than that, it's dangerous.
Thank you so much, Richard. So for my audience who would love to connect with you, I'll reach out to you, follow your shows and reach out. How can they reach out and where's the best platform?
I mean, I'm on everything. You can either look up Richard Wilmore or go to makeyourdayricard.com and everything kind of lives there as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Richard. Yeah, thank you. And from all these who would love to reach out, check the show notes and you definitely see a link to reach out. Yeah, share this with someone whose job is to take care of everyone else, but not experiencing the hour. Remember, you can't make anyone day richer if your own is running on empty. Once again, it's a honor and a pleasure having you on the show, Richard.
Thank you for having me.
So